Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 4th, 2025 meeting.
Can I have one more to restart the, yeah. So,
Recording in progress.
Good morning. Welcome to September 4th Palo Alto Architectural Review Board meeting. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. So can we have a roll call, please?
yes. Chair Chen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Adcock,
Yes.
Board Member Hirsch,
Yes.
Board Member Georgia,
Yes.
Board Member Rosenberg.
Present.
For the record, 5 are present.
Okay. Okay, next is the public comments. This is the time for anyone who wanted to speak on an item that is not on the agenda. If you want to speak on an agendized item, we will have time for that later this morning. Do we have any public comments?
To the chair, I've received no comment cards and no request to speak online.
Okay, thank you. And then we will go to the agenda changes, additions, and deletions.
No changes or deletions today.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll hand it over to the staff for the city official reports.
All right. Well, good morning. Let me share my screen here. So here we are in September. Just some upcoming items. There's a little bit of a delay in the presentation here, but let's see. So for the September 18th meeting, we are projecting to have 3 items. So it will be a packed agenda. We'll have a tier 2 wireless facility project, a report out, a study session, if you will, with the Urban Land Institute for the Palo Alto Transit Center, as well as an update on the San Antonio Road area plan, receiving some preliminary feedback on what has been prepared. And as for some meeting schedules, there are a few more meetings remaining in the year. We're drawing close to the end of the year. If there are any planned absences, please direct that to staff's attention and we'll make note of that. And don't have any updates to provide to the board. So if there are any further questions, I'm happy to entertain those.
Just one quick question on the next meeting. Is that the order? It's the reverse order or different from the order on the packet?
No particular order. We have not finalized the agenda placement yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on to the staff? No? Okay, then we will just move on to the action item number 2. Public hearing quasi judicial 180 El Camino Real recommendation on applicant's request for major architectural review approval for exterior storefront revisions and improvements, including a new outdoor dining area, facade revisions, and new signage for a new tenant, Ralph Lauren, at the Stanford Shopping Center. Can we, and the staff recommendation is to recommend approval of the proposed project to the Director of Planning and Development Services based on findings attachment B and subject to conditions of approval attachment C. Any disclosures, please?
I visited the site and have nothing else to disclose.
Same.
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 All right, so with that, I will hand it to the staff for staff presentation.
Good morning and thank you, Chair, board members. Tamara Harrison with Michael Baker International presenting for staff. Go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Again, this action item is located at 180 El Camino Real at the Stanford Shopping Center, and it is for Ralph Lauren and Ralph's Coffee. The subject tenant is located in Building M, Suite 383, which is formerly the Brooks Brothers store. And as you know, the Stanford Shopping Center is subject to a master tenant facade and sign program, which determines which tenant spaces require certain levels of review with the city. So this exhibit here is directly from the program, and the green lines highlight those tenant spaces that require city review, and those storefronts that exceed 35 feet in length require a ARB public hearing, such as the project before you, and those that are less than 35 feet are able to be reviewed at the staff level. The project is located off of the Sand Hill Road entrance into the city center, and it seeks to change the existing facade, add an outdoor seating area to accommodate the new Ralph Lauren and Ralph's Cafe tenant. It also proposes new signage for the tenant. The exterior facade improvements are fairly straightforward. The project proposes to repaint the existing metal awnings, the storefront systems and doors, add a new entry and storefront system for the cafe on the south elevation, to add outdoor cafe seating areas to the south elevation. Also proposes new exterior lighting, furniture, floor tiles at the entry vestibule, and door hardware, and also new perimeter planters and stanchions at the cafe seating area, as well as new signage. The facade design has been determined to be consistent with the master program and is consistent with the character of the center. A little bit more on colors and materials. Again, the existing storefronts will remain. There's an existing gray and tan colored, terracotta colored stucco. And then there's also some existing precast base that will remain on the columns there. In this next picture here, you can see the awnings will remain and they will be painted. It's a green that has a mixture of black in it as well. Same thing with the powder coated metal at the storefront. And then there will be a slate tile that will go at the entry vestibule. The new light fixtures are more of a brass color. And then the new planter boxes will be a combination of metal and wood plank. As far as signage, because there are 3 facades to this particular tenant, there's a number of wall signs on each of those facades, as well as a blade sign. Of course, Stanford is a pedestrian mall, and so all tenants are required to have the blade sign. There's a super graphic that will be used on the south elevation, and there's also a window sign on the south elevation, along with a vinyl graphic that will be located on the west elevation. So all signage has been determined to be consistent with the master sign program, with the exception of the primary wall sign that will go on the southwest elevation, as it currently exceeds the allowable wall sign height by 4 inches. However, staff has added a condition of approval to the project that that particular sign will be lowered to a maximum of 2 feet at the time of building permit submittal. For key considerations and conditions, we need to ensure that the project is in conformance with the ARB findings, the master program for facade and signage, and then also the Palo Alto Municipal Code, Section 1620, which has the sign standards and regulations. With that, staff recommends that the Architectural Review Board take the following action and recommend approval of the proposed project's facade changes and signage to the Director of Planning and Development Services based on findings and subject to staff's conditions of approval. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the board. So do we have any questions to the staff?
I have one question, if I may. On the sign that is like 4 inches too tall, in the report, it says the max height for capital letters is 18 inches. Is the proposed sign complying with the 18 inches, and just the panel is too big, or is the font also too big?
For this particular sign, I believe it's considered a primary sign, and I think the max height on that one is a maximum of 24 inches per the sign program. Maybe there's an incorrect section on the staff report, but it should be a max of 24 inches, and that is for including the sign panel there.
That's correct, but there's also a text in the report that max height for capital letters on a secondary sign is 18 inches. Does that apply to that sign? And is the proposed text 18 inches or larger?
If I may, so the primary sign would be, say, if we go up to maybe a few slides on the image of the facade. So that would be the large Ralph Lauren. And then the secondary sign would be what's immediately above the door.
Mhm.
And that is referring to those 18 inches for the height of those letters. And if I believe correctly, the height is around maybe five or so inches. I believe it's detailed in the plan set of the letter height. So it definitely complies with that component for the secondary signage. But the added condition was regarding the height of the top sign, the Ralph Lauren. So
And is there a font height limit on the top sign?
it is just the width and height of the sign that's regulated by the master sign program. So no.
Okay, thank you. That's fair. Thank you.
Do you have any
Yeah.
other questions, David?
Tamara, the slate or whatever the material is going to be used on the entry. Is it the perimeter area of concrete is going to be removed and the slate that is in the samples?
Yeah,
Maybe,
the slate will just
is that what's going to be used in that area, or is it inside the building?
It's going to be used just in the entry vestibule area, so it won't be outside. The concrete that is existing in the walkway area will remain, and then once you step into that vestibule area right at the entry, that is where the slate tile will be located. Kind of where that circle was just shown on the screen there, and where the arrow is pointing.
I think we will also leave it to the applicant for them to clarify on that on the
Okay.
design.
Yeah.
And this time is the questions to the staff. If we have any other questions to the staff. Yeah. I do have a question. Ms. Harrison, could you please clarify the master signage program? What is the requirement for like the limited number of primary sign and wall sign? How do you define it? Is it per facade or it depends on like the tenants? One tenant can only have one primary sign, and so does the wall sign. Since this is a corner location, is there like maximum requirement for that?
Correct. So the master program does allow like the one primary sign per tenant is kind of how it reads. But we have been at the Stanford Shopping Center for corner tenants, such as this one, or tenants that have like these 3 facades, allowing the primary sign on each facade to maximize advertising for that particular tenant. And that's something that we've been doing out at the center for quite some time.
Okay, so primary sign are all the signs on the wall defined as primary sign or?
Not all of them. So
Okay.
right. So you'll have primary, you'll have secondary, such as this elevation that's shown in the slide before you. The top larger Ralph Lauren sign would be the primary sign, and then the smaller one right above the doorway would be considered a secondary wall sign.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And if we don't have any additional questions to the staff, we will just move to the application presentation. Do we have applicant online? Oh, okay, thank you. Please state and spell your name for the record, and you will have 10 minutes for your presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair. New members, I haven't had the pleasure to be in front of yet. And again, Jason Smith, Jason Smith, Land Shark Development, here as applicant for Ralph Lauren. Just a quick clarification on the signage. I know that has come up and we've talked with staff on that. The primary sign, I think, was the main question, and the letters themselves are at 12 inches. The overall background itself is at 28, which exceeds that 24 inches. So that's that additional 4 inches. But the letters themselves, the pin mounted letters, are at 12 inches. And today on via Zoom, we have the Ralph Lauren team as well as architectural staff to review the project with you and answer any questions you may have. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Nadir with Ralph Lauren. He is their architectural and design lead, and I'll let him go ahead and describe the project, and then we can answer any questions you may have after that. Thank you so much. Nadir?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Nadir Naqvi, Nadir Naqvi. Just wanted to say we're very excited to be back in this mall. Some of you might recall we had a large store that closed about 20 years ago in 2015 on the other side of this mall. So very happy to be back here. Just speaking just a little bit about the design, we wanted to sort of retain the integrity of the building itself. Kind of wanted to embrace the canopies, and our design on the interior of the store kind of was taking cues off of the exterior of the store. So we kind of playing off of this industrial, California sort of loft aesthetic on the inside. Taking that, we sort of came up with a color palette that is on brand, and that is how we decided to paint the existing metal canopies dark green, which is on brand. And then as you turn the corner, the elevation to the south bottom right, which is the coffee elevation, sort of it continues that consistency of brand. Again, new decorative replacement of the sconces that are on the facade with new decorative lighting. We will have some additional seating by the cafe area. We're proposing to open up that wall and create a window to allow some more daylight inside and activate that side alley, which I do believe gets a lot of traffic. So I think this will be a really great addition to the mall. We're really happy to be here, and looking forward to answering any questions you might have related to the design.
Okay, thank you. Before questions from the board, do we have any public comments for this project?
To the chair, received no comment cards and no raised hands to speak on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. So return to the board. Do we have any questions to the applicant?
I have a few, if that's all right.
Sure, go ahead.
Jump right in here. Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. I actually do remember the Ralph Lauren from 20 years ago. So it's been a minute. So the signage, I feel we've had several of the questions answered already. I did have a question about the upper windows. So in the existing photographs, we can see that the upper windows have sort of various shades of the blinds, whatever's going on in there, up and down, and they're sort of all over the place. In the renderings and everything, it's showing everything sort of closed. So I'm wondering, is there any sort of plan for those upper windows? Is there any treatment that's going to be done there? Is there any de-emphasis? I wanted to, understand, are they getting painted over? Because it almost looks like they are completely muted out in the renderings, and I just wanted to understand that better.
I can go and answer that.
Please.
The upper windows at this location, that is part of Stanford Medical.
Mhm.
They have offices up in that area. So those offices are utilized by Stanford Medical and not part of the Ralph Lauren project.
Great. So that's just, they're going to just exist the way they are, but there's no intention of painting them.
That is correct.
Perfect. Okay. And then I guess my last question is pretty minimal as well, but it's sort of understanding, I don't know if it's to staff or to the applicant, the area of square footage that's going to be used for the outdoor cafe. I know that in previous projects like the Mediterranean one, there's certain sizing that you're allowed to have for those outdoor spacing. How was this determined? Because there's nothing there now. And for what it's worth, I think it's a great opportunity. So I'm just curious, how are they allowed to, how is the sizing for that cafe area determined? The exterior seating of it.
Are you talking just clarification of how the sizing is allowed, or?
Yeah, how did you get to like 3 tables? Right, as opposed to like expanding it larger and making 10 tables, or it's, how are you allowed to have any at all? Right, I'm just sort of understanding, how do you get from nothing, because there's nothing in that alley now, right?
Correct.
And so you're activating it with these tables in that cafe along there. What determined the concept that you'd have, I believe it's 3 or 4 tables outside
That's
versus doing something larger and grander versus not being allowed to have any? So I just don't understand how we ended up where it is, and I'd just love to understand it, so.
Yeah, I can briefly touch on that, and then I can pass that on to the Ralph Lauren team.
Perfect.
We were restricted in the number of
Mhm.
cafe seats we could have out there to maintain that 8-foot clear. That's required, and adding additional tables out there would likely have impact on that. And so that's why we were restricted to the size of that patio area and
Okay.
to provide the service that Ralph Lauren team wants to provide for those cafe seats. And I can have Ralph Lauren expand on that if they'd like to.
Honestly, I think that pretty much covered it. I
Okay.
don't mean to cut anyone off here. That's not the intention.
Sure. Thank you.
So, but you were not able to get more is the thing, and that the city's not going to have any issue with the amount that you have.
That is correct.
Great. Okay. That's it. Those are my questions. Thank you.
If I may jump in, I have a few questions as well. I will start with the painting. So it looks like, I think it was noted as elastomeric paint on the canopy. That was noted in the slides earlier, and then powder coating on the storefront system. I'm curious, how are you intending to paint? Like is the canopy getting painted in place, and therefore whatever is visible gets painted? And like, because the assembly originally isn't, looks like it came powder coated in some way, and you're painting over. Is that, I'm just curious about what your intent is in terms of quality, durability of that paint, starting with the canopy question, I suppose.
Definitely on those canopies themselves, they are steel structures that are in place. They will be left in place. They will be sanded, cleaned, of course, and then painted with the durable paint, and then maintained when necessary to obtain that high quality standard for Stanford Shopping Center.
In the storefront system, it was noted that it would be powder coated. I assume that's not getting done in place, or is it?
This is, I think, in regards to the new portion of the storefront windows and glazing that's going in front of the cafe area. That will all be, I believe, that powder coated material off-site and then installed on-site.
Ms. Harrison, if you don't mind pulling up the slide with the colors that we saw earlier. We don't have the board, correct?
If I can jump in here from the Ralph Lauren side, the new storefront, the new opening that we're creating on the cafe side, yes, will be all new powder coat metal. Our intent for the existing, which is stainless steel currently, the idea is to clad it with powder coated metal. So it'll be new metal cladding, brake metal, which will be cladding over the existing stainless steel mullions, etc.
Okay, and it's both inside and outside?
Correct.
Thank you. That helps clarify that. My next question is about the lighting. So looking at old pictures from when it was Brooks Brothers, there seems to be like small wall-mounted lighting over every, 2 per column bay. in the existing, and in the proposed, I don't see, you have the long wall sconces, but nothing directly under the canopy like it was there before. Have you looked into like light levels, or is that intentional to have lower light levels than previously full disclosure, I have not visited this site in the evening when the lights would have impacted. I'm just curious, is the proposed light level lower than existing light level, given the reduction in fixture count?
Again, from a design standpoint, we did discuss that and we reviewed that with the mall as well. We are adding additional sconces, which I believe emit a higher light level than what was existing. And then we have the street lamps that sort of run along the alley as well, which we're adding light levels. So we are confident that we will meet the light levels that are there that are sufficient. I would like to say the light levels that were there were probably higher than what we would have liked. But we did review this plan with the mall and they were in agreement with it. So the existing lights that are just above in the white stucco right above the windows are being proposed to be removed and patched.
So just the spots in stucco will be patched, or the full panels will be
The spots in the
recoated?
stucco will be patched
Okay,
and
thank
painted.
you. That's all.
Board Member Hirsch or
Yeah,
Rodriguez?
okay. The color scheme, are you saying that the actual facade color is going to match what is presently on that entire building now? And how about the cornice, et cetera? Is it the same color as the present cornice?
It is my understanding the painting of the facade is not in the Ralph Lauren scope. It is my understanding that the landlord is coming and repainting the entire building.
You're
So
painting the entire building? Is it?
that is our understanding, correct? But right now, the painting of the building is not in the Ralph Lauren scope. I would let the landlord speak to that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can go ahead and talk as far as the painting that's out on site currently. The landlord did obtain approval to repaint building M, and that has been repainted along the upper portions and the trim, etc. Only the portion of the Ralph Lauren storefront and the metal existing metal awnings, the new glazing or storefront entry points are under Ralph Lauren's controller under the ARB currently.
So, okay, so the all of the columns are presently painted the same as basically the top color of the cornice as well, I believe. So that will all basically kind of remain the same. And the infill is the part that will be redone kind of as the Ralph
That is
Lauren.
correct. In the portion over in front of the Ralph Lauren Ralph's
Facade.
Cafe,
Yeah.
that will be repainted.
Okay, how will the last light fixture work out? The one that is between Ralph Lauren and it says Bang & Olufsen. I don't know if they're coming or going or whatever at this point, but there'll be a light fixture that is similar to the Ralph Lauren fixtures.
Under the B&O application that's forthcoming, they will be proposing their own light fixtures to replace the existing. So,
okay, well, there's some accommodation on the column that is shared between the two retailers.
correct. There'll be a break point where we won't have a random wall sconce. It'll be either the Ralph Lauren project or
the other
the
one.
B&O project. Correct.
I think we did discuss this and we said it's going to be a B&O light fixture. So we gave up that one pier for our own lighting.
Okay. Is there an intention to following up on the eating area where outside is there intention to have some stanchions or some separation between what is the passageway for people going to other stores versus what is going to the people drinking coffee, whatever, within the Ralph Lauren area?
Yeah, there are stanchions proposed, a single element of stanchions flanked by landscape planters that will be removed nightly and then put back
Okay.
out during operating hours.
Okay, fine. So that then is a negotiation as to how much space they can take up as leaving a remainder, which is the requirement for circulation, et cetera, as discussed.
Correct. Even with the stanchions and the landscape planters in place, they still meet the requirements of the 8-foot clear.
Thank you.
Can I jump in and ask a question about the paint that you just asked about? So on the screen here, we've got the, the green colors for the canopy and the window system. But on the elevations, the renderings that we have in front of us around the cafe, there's the stucco appears to be also being painted green.
Correct.
So is that just like elastomeric or some kind of paint over the stucco that's not on the color board that we're looking at? And what color is it? Kind of looks almost black on my print.
It is the continuation. It's an Essex green with a 10% black, so it's a darker shade of a standard Essex green that we have done before. That is also a branded color that we sort of roll out globally. It might be reading a little darker on your screen, but that green portion in the cafe elevation is in Ralph Lauren's scope. All other facade painting is in the landlord scope. So that is sort of a way for us to differentiate the facade for the cafe versus the retail area.
And just a rendering, probably it's just a rendering thing, but the existing stucco where Ralph Lauren is not painting, like around the canopy or just above, for instance, looks more beige in the existing pictures and looks quite bright white in the proposed. Is that the color that you're changing to?
That facade actually was painted recently, and the current color rendering and elevations do not reflect that. There wasn't time to have those renderings and elevations updated to reflect what the landlord had just painted and installed. So what you see out on site, as far as the rest of the building itself, are the colors that will remain for the building. And Ralph Lauren is going to come in and then update their first floor level space with the green and the painting of the canopies.
And what you painted is basically the same previous colors, just repainted, correct?
No, they chose some lighter colors, moving away from the browns that were out there to bring it more, I guess, more neutral, more kind of grays, which will complement the stores coming in.
So what we saw on site, if we were there yesterday, for example, is what's going to stay.
That is correct.
Perfect.
Okay, and I guess for Ms. Harrison, that was just a staff level review, I assume, to change color of the building? Yeah, okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions? No, with that, we will close public portion of the meeting and we will turn it to ARB internal discussion and comments. Anyone want to start?
Remember, Board Member Joe Jarth hasn't spoken yet, so I want to offer it to you first, otherwise I'll jump in.
Yeah, if you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful store. The plan is very comprehensive. And the project conforms with the codes. I like the painting of the awning and the windows. I think it's a big improvement from the stainless to have a darker shade. I like the new lamps that you're installing. I think it's an upgrade. And I like the fact that you're getting rid of that concrete wall on the south facade, where the cafe is going to be. So I think overall, this is a very nice project, and I look forward to seeing it built.
Thank you. Who want to go next?
I'll jump in here.
Sure.
Yeah, I can sort of summarize this as no notes. I mean, this is really well done, knocked it out of the park. My notes actually would be for Stanford Shopping Center themselves. Looking at the page G-005-00, where it shows the pathing of the 8-foot, those lampposts right in the middle of that walkway have always been problematic. They've been there since that was Sizzler instead of Apple, right? Those posts have always just sort of been right in the way. And if those could at some point get moved, then this cafe could expand out farther and really embrace this alley, because this alley has always been a little bit underutilized. So I absolutely huge hats off to the applicant for, bringing this alley to life with this cafe. I think it's a brilliant idea. I love how you managed to maneuver the pathing around. I just wish you guys had the opportunity to expand it a little bigger even. But again, we're sort of pinched by those lamp posts. So you guys did a great job for the constraints that you have. So hats off for that. Beautiful scheme, classy palette. I like that you're reusing as much as possible. It's always a little bit more environmentally friendly, and we appreciate that. I think it's beautiful. Job well done.
I can jump in. Yes, thank you. I'm happy to have a brief review of a project today. We always are here forever. The only minor complaint is the drawings are really hard to read. Just the line weight quality, like existing is, so that's my only complaint, that I was just struggling to even get a sense of what you're trying to show in the drawings. But in the color palette, the elevations are all really beautiful. I think it will be a upgrade to what's there now. One point I meant to ask earlier that I didn't, but I'll just leave it as a note now that we're in comment portion, is there's a portion on one elevation that has the RL logo on it. I assume, Ms. Harrison, that is not part of the sign, the restrictions, the 24 inches and all that, because it is much larger, but I think it will be a nice piece at the corner of the building. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think all the words are out there. I don't know what's left for me, except that I agree.
Do you like it?
Yes, I like it
Okay.
very much. And I agree, it would be nice to animate the passageway much more if it's possible somehow to do so, with or without the light fixtures. I don't know if they have to be removed for it to be expanded a little bit in the area, I didn't, as a sort of experience yesterday in being there, but may have been a slow day, but I didn't see a lot of people in that particular corridor, so I wonder if it's necessary to absolutely insist upon the clearance. I know there are other reasons, fire department or whatever access is necessary for those areas, the areas of passage. But it would be nice if it could be expanded beyond at least one line outside the door, to have a little more excitement in that area. And it is an exciting idea to have a little cafe as part of this whole thing. I suppose that's kind of maybe something that's being done throughout the system of the retailer. But it's a really nice feature to this corner. And in fact, the next one coming up, the fish restaurant, et cetera, in that area is very, very animated in that courtyard. And there really isn't this possibility at this far end at the moment. So it's a terrific addition. So hats off on this project. It once again improves the whole shopping center.
All right, so can I go ahead and make a motion to approve the project?
Yeah, so, I just want to say,
Yeah, please.
it's really a great addition to this corner, and I love the way that the planter box and the seating, the different painting of the exterior wall. It has the outdoor cafe, the indoor outdoor more defined for the cafe area, but also the canopy, the covered canopy and other materials, the wall sconce also unify the entire storefront and make the corner more lively. And I mean, I really like the design and can't wait to have it built. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Please make a motion.
All right, so now I'll make the motion. I move to approve the project as designed with the COA from staff regarding the signage included.
I'll second.
Double second.
Right. Board Member Hirsch,
Yes.
Board Member Joybeth,
Yes.
Board Member Rosenberg,
Yes.
Vice Chair Adcock,
Yes.
Chair Chen,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Chair, board members, thank you once again. Pleasure to be in front of you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank
So with that, we don't have any minutes for today, and we will just have an ad hoc committee for the 975 Page Mill Road, and which would be Board Member Hirsch and me myself. So with that, the meeting adjourned. Thank you.